This is MIP. Get woke.
"20 minutes before the hour. Joining us now, and this is a long time overdue. I'm so proud of my younger brother and his wife and their family. Two brand new baby boys, but they've also found the time to do something that many of our ancestors I know are smiling down upon and very proud of. We talked about black political parties, but we also talked about black political action committees. And both of those institutions have always seemed out of reach in terms of very, very real success. We've tried black political parties. We may have tried black PACs in the past. I don't know how successful they've been, but finally, one is up and running and off the ground and quite successful. And I know I've been promoting their candidates, but we've not had a chance to talk to the principals since the PAC was founded. The founders of the PAC, they are Stephanie Brown James and her husband Quentin James. Joining us now is our brother Quentin. Quentin, hey man, how are you? Congratulations, brother.
Hey, brother, I'm good. It's so great to hear you, man.
It's good to hear you. How the boys doing?
Our boys are great, man. They're running around right now.
How old are they?
Elijah is 8 months, and Carter is 2.5 or so.
2.5. Wow, man, that's great. Well, again, congratulations on the PAC. You've had great success in the past couple of years, haven't you?
No, thank you very much. It's been interesting because this was very much a long shot idea, but folks around the country really have wanted this, and have stepped up to support us. And so, thanks to the amazing interest and activation from grassroots folks again around the nation, we've been able to make a huge difference for black candidates running, up and down the ballot, from city council to, people running for lieutenant governor last year. And so we're excited about 2018 and what this can mean for the future of black politics in our country.
No, this is very, very important. And the bottom line is, one of the concerns for black candidates has been really about fundraising. And
Exactly.
frankly, Quentin, sometimes black candidates have had to compromise their positions and principles because they haven't had the ability to count on fundraising from their own constituency, right?
Exactly. We just released a report with our partner, or called the Arena, and what it looked at was all of the congressional candidates who ran in 2016. And really all it is just the data points to what we all know, the point you just raised, and that is, candidates of color have a much harder time raising money than their, white counterparts. And what was interesting is, no matter if you were an incumbent or a challenger, if you were a candidate of color, you still have a huge, gap in the ability to raise money compared to, again, if it was a white candidate or, a white incumbent or a white challenger. There was a one piece I think was interesting is that for every $2 that a white woman candidate raises, a woman of color candidate only raises $1.14. And so, this is a systemic problem that we got to deal with because, one of our big, arguments is before we talk about, Russian interference and, the attack on democracy, money, and politics, how about we also talk about the fact that black people don't have equal representation, right, on the local, state, and federal level. And so the reality is in 2018, we still don't have an equal footing at the table to make decisions. And so for us, that is the crisis of our democracy and one that we're working every day to fix.
Quentin James, folks, of the Collective PAC. And folks, don't hesitate. Go to collectivepac.org to make your donations. They need money for these candidates to be successful. Was just talking with Ben Jealous's campaign on yesterday. Ben, our friend, former president of NAACP, from which Quentin and his wife Stephanie come. These are NAACP, former NAACP youth activists. I was talking to Ben. Ben's going to be making some regular appearances with us here. I want to pledge to you today, Quentin, we want to get all of the candidates you're supporting on these airwaves
That'd be amazing.
to promote and endorse them. So if there's a way you can help us work that out. But we want to get everybody in here. We want you to meet all these great candidates and help their chances to win. What's been kind of your success ratio, Quentin, and the candidates you've supported, those who've won versus those who've come close?
Yeah, so, since we've launched, we have endorsed 78 candidates, and, 58% of the candidates who we endorse have gone on to win their races.
All right.
And the great thing about it is, we are picking the long shots, right? The candidates who are being out fundraised, 2-1 and trying to close that gap. And so these are candidates who are right at the cusp, but with a little additional support, a little additional attention from, national outlets, we can get them over the top. And so it's been phenomenal to see that in spite of the data points, in spite of the challenges that we all know, Black candidates are still rising, right? They're still getting up each and every day and doing the hard work of trying to represent their communities. And so that's been just a phenomenal experience to witness the resiliency of our people and our candidates. And so it's been great.
It most certainly had 58%. Now I'll tell you something, my brother. That's in terms of an NBA or a college basketball game, 58% is a pretty good clip. That's a game-winning percentage.
Right.
So,
exactly.
Have you found? Because I wonder again. We talked about African Americans giving money, people giving money to African Americans, and how difficult that has been over the years. Is it getting? Has the PAC helped that happen? Was this really all we needed? Was an institution like a PAC to express that importance and get people to do it? Have you found that to be easier than we thought it was, Quentin?
Well, I would say this, right? To be very transparent, right? I mean, a lot of our funding doesn't come from Black people, right? People of all, colors and creeds are supporting our mission. And so that's been somewhat of a surprise, but we welcome it because, again, we know that this has always been, very much a multiracial movement for progress. And so we're very grateful for that. But, I would say I think with Citizens United, our community really hasn't, in my opinion, adjusted our strategies to deal with that fact that now money is political speech. And so, our PAC, I think, is one strategy. But, I also think a lot of our new 501c4s are doing great work. A lot of our super PACs are doing great work. There's a group called Black PAC, who we partner up with, who does amazing work, getting out the Black vote. They worked in Virginia, worked in Alabama, but again, using, campaign finance rules to our advantage, I think is the case that we're making and the case that I think is so needed for us to make progress in 2018. It can't just be, traditional get out the vote efforts. We got to be on TV. We got to be on, Facebook advertising and Twitter advertising. We got to meet folks where they are. And so I'm so excited, again, to just be a part of this kind of new, universe of organizations trying to do that work. But I think, we are very much focused on the candidate piece. we train them? How do we recruit them? How do we support them? And that's for us been our sweet spot.
Training, recruitment, and support. So you have been involved in actually recruiting some of these candidates.
No, exactly. Yeah. This year, 2018, is so awesome. We have more Black candidates running statewide and running for Congress than we've ever had in history. Mm-hmm. And so many of these candidates actually came to our candidate training that we launched last year, the first ever Black campaign school. We held at Howard University last summer.
Right.
And so now these candidates are running in competitive districts. One kind of highlight is a brother named Greg Edwards, running in Pennsylvania 7, which is the Allentown area. Greg is a pastor and a union activist, and he leads in fundraising from both, the Republicans and Democrats right now. And so it's an amazing story of a, candidate who's being scrappy and doing the hard work, but again, running in a district that nobody was paying attention to until he's, making it competitive. And so those are the kind of candidates that we're talking about, folks who people aren't, really concerned about. I think a lot of folks think we, our only opportunities as Black candidates is to, try and replace the CBC member or, replace that Black mayor or whatever. And it's like there are so many opportunities around the country. 90% of elected officials around this country are white. 95% of elected prosecutors are white. And so we got a lot of work to do to equal out these numbers. And again, we're so excited that folks are stepping up to do that in 2018.
Quentin James with us, folks, of the Collective PAC. We just have some breaking news. I'll mention it. We'll report on it before we leave the air. But Rex Tillerson has been fired as Secretary of State. That is just breaking. We're just learning that information right now. We'll update you in the next few moments or so. But Rex Tillerson has been removed as Secretary of State. Now, Quentin, for those who are interested, because I'm hearing from people who want to run. I've been saying to listeners, we're beyond the time of complaining and being spectators. Some folk need to think about running for office, and everybody can't run for governor and Congress. I mean, start somewhere. What advice or what resources do you have for those who might be listening who are thinking about running for office themselves?
Yeah, so, I would say one of our first resources is going to be our Black campaign school. We'll be hosting that in July, and we'll get the information out to folks, via our website and social media. But I would say check in with us about coming to that training. It's one of the only trainings in the country that prepares candidates to run for office through a lens of being Black, but also being, either a woman or LGBT or whatever your identity is, but also from that Black lens is so important.
Yeah.
So that would be one resource that we want folks to take advantage of.
CollectivePAC.org, folks. And those of you at home don't have to wait to get involved. Go to CollectivePAC.org and give to some of these candidates. And people can give whatever they can afford to give, right, Quentin?
Exactly, yeah. Whether it's $1 up to the legal limit of $5,000, we want you to support, again, not only us, but the candidates. We have all the candidates who we've endorsed on our website. You can give directly to those candidates on our website as well. But yeah, we want to be a great resource, not only for, again, the amazing folks running for office, but also for your listeners who are trying to figure out, how can I have an impact? How can I be, involved? Making a small contribution to these candidates is a great way to boost their campaigns ahead of the elections this cycle.
Yeah, folks, this is very, very important. Please, ma'am, please, sir, please give. And I know you mentioned that you're getting donations from everywhere from a multiracial point of view, but I'm still would argue that we didn't have that before. It was no real place to go and no clearinghouse where people could go and say, hey, this is how I can give to Black candidates. So what Quentin and Stephanie did, and again, we all talked about it over the years. We all wondered, can this happen? And a lot of times we would talk about things and then talk ourselves out of it because it had never been done before. It was at Monument. And Quentin and Stephanie's got to say, we're going to do this. And they did it. That's how they roll. They called me one day, said, Mark, we're going to get married. Then they said, we're going to have some babies. Then they said, we're going to build it. So that's just, so I don't know what they're going to do next. I mean, Quentin and Stephanie, as far as I'm concerned, have the potential themselves to be the next Barack and Michelle Obama. I'm just putting that out there. Yeah, so we can get into all that later. I know Stephanie gonna get on me for saying that, but but this is who this dynamic power couple is. I'm so proud of them, and just thankful to say that I know them and can still talk to them and access them before they get to the place where I can't even reach them no more. But
always gonna be available to you, brother.
I know, I'm just messing around, man. CollectivePAC.org. Quentin, I promise, because I want to. Brittany's gonna be in touch because I want to have a parade of Collective PAC candidates on these airwaves.
Awesome.
In the days, I'll do one every day if I have to. And so because I know how important it is. I've run for office. Folks, they need that money. They need to be heard. And I was talking to, I'll be honest with you, just to be transparent. I was talking to Ben's people yesterday. And, a lot of these local races, even governor is considered local state race. And you can't get news coverage. So you got to buy TV time.
Exactly.
And then when you got somebody, it's even harder in this cycle to get coverage for anybody, Congress, state, city council, state legislature. When you got somebody on TV, acting a fool every day, and I mean Trump. He sucks all of the coverage off of television. So people need money to get on TV, to put up posters, buttons, all that kind of stuff. Right, Quentin?
Exactly. And to your point, about Rex Tillerson being fired today.
Right.
And this is going to very much cover the news cycle today.
Right.
When there's a really important special election happening in Pennsylvania, right, where where the Republicans won by 15 plus points.
Very astute.
Now we probably won't hear about that until late tonight after the polls close.
Right. No, that's very, very astute. CollectivePAC.org. Quentin, love you. Kiss Stephanie. Kiss those boys for me too, okay?
And of course, brother. Thank you so much for having us.
And we'll be in touch on all of this, okay?
All right, great. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Quentin James, folks, CollectivePAC.org. Please give. Yes, the news is Rex Tillerson has been fired. Mike Pompeo to replace him. Get ready. There'll be a golden shower tape probably before the end of the day because Tillerson was Putin's man. Okay? All right. If all minds are clear, it has been made plain. 'Cause God